And welcome to the Indy Hookup. Today's guest is Angela Bendeck, Heston, Cleveland. Take it over, sir.
Hey, Angela.
Hey, Houston. Houston or Houston? How do you say your name? I've always been
He's
confused.
Heston.
Heston. Okay.
Like,
like
you know,
Charlton Heston.
Heston.
Charlton Heston. You
Heston,
might
please.
not be old enough to know who he is.
Ten Commandments.
Right. Hey, I go places now and they mispronounce my name and I go, it's Heston. You know Charlton Heston? And they be like, who? And I'm like,
We owe.
I'm old.
Oh my.
I'm old. But Angela, it's good to have you back. The technical difficulties we had, we just had to get you back in. And since we last talked, you've been all over the place, But we gonna talk about that. Um, we gonna start over and act like we never talked.
Okay.
Uh,
Fine.
what's your name and what do you do?
Well, my name is Angela Bendeck. Just my name is the same artist name. And I am a singer-songwriter and a business owner with my husband. And I am also a really wonderful, I mean, like a very huge fan of customer service, which is one of my specialties. I train companies in customer service. And also I support um in a different environment. I support mothers who would love to breastfeed. Breastfeeding, is kind of like a very important thing, and I do that as a social help that I do on my own.
You know what? The first time, our first interview, I was trying to get you to talk about that,
Oh yeah.
but we didn't. You know what? I would work overtime on that job.
you, you dirty old man. Stop it. That's real important because this baby formula, they just did a study and they had all this metals in there. They put a big magnet in all these brand name, especially in the United States. It's probably better in Europe. And all of this metal was in the baby formula. Like of all the things that you want to get right, they had metal
Exactly.
in the baby formula, and no telling what the other chemicals are. So that's very important to stay on the mother's milk as long as possible. And hopefully she's eating healthy and she's getting the nutrition and stuff to give to the baby. So that's very important.
Yeah,
Totally
I'm
agree.
trying to get back on the milk. Not my mother, but some milk.
I breastfed my 4 children, all of them. They didn't know what a formula was. So that's why they are so smart.
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, I look at the baby formula and the texture, and it doesn't seem edible. I'm like, we give
It's
our baby
not.
that.
Yeah,
That's what they eat. No, it's all synthetic. It's
yeah.
the beginning of AI.
Oh my goodness. I just hope, I mean, AI is kind of like a tool now that you're talking about that, but it's just a tool for different situations. Like, for example, if you're already a specialized person in a subject, it can help you do a work in a faster way. But in music industry,
No.
that is something that I would never use for writing or composing any song. I'm so sorry. I'm not playing that game because I
Mm-hmm.
truly believe in a full-hearted song done by a human with from the deepest of their hearts, putting into their own feelings and emotions, the meaning, that's personal.
So if Sony came to you and they said, Angela, we love your voice, we love your tone, we want to use your voice, your image, and we'll pay you $10 million a year. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to come to the studio. You don't have to write. We got to write it. We just put it in, do prompts. And it's Angela Bendeck 2.0. You'd turn them down?
I will. I will because my
I
principles are
believe you.
first, of
I
course.
believe you.
Yeah.
It's coming to that. Matter of fact, it's here. They're already
It,
fighting contracts to take old artists. Once we already signed your like an image. You remember you signed that? So we got your voice too. So now they just put it in the thing. I mean, even for regular consumers, it's already here. So it's just gonna get better.
That
It's
is true.
scary.
It's
you
scary.
know, I watched the future movies, and I whichever comes on the screen usually comes true or is about to come up.
Some
AI
form of it.
is taking over and thinking for itself.
Yeah.
You know, adapting and adjusting. It's just
Lying.
it's just like the smartphone.
Yeah,
You
that
do
is
the same thing on the phone a couple of times. When you wake up in the morning and turn it on, it's there. And you like, I didn't look for that, but your phone will find it and put it in your face. You know, it's called a smartphone for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, I am not against technology and the advances of it. Like, for example, like I told you, it can make life easier. But when it comes to creativity, then that's where the limit starts. Because I mean, like in the past, there were people who were human calculators right before they invented the first huge computer. And if they didn't have those computers, then the progress in the investigations that they did afterwards, they wouldn't taken longer than they have taken just right now. So I understand that the advances of technology can improve or accelerate a couple of investigations and things that we need to discover and make our world better. If it's about making our world better, then go for it. But if it's to make people lazy about creating beautiful things, I really would not take AI or any technology for that. I obviously take advantage of technology, like, for example, when I record my voice. Um, in the past, I needed to go into a studio and record onto a tape. Do you remember those tapes? I do
Mm.
have one of those tapes with me when I recorded my first song long ago. I have it here. I would like to show it to you.
Ha
Right?
ha ha.
Yeah. Yeah.
We see it. You know, my father did my mom's music in 1980, 1978. He
Uh-huh.
had two reel to reels, a half track and a four track, and he synchronized them. He would play the whole song
Yeah.
and then add the percussions, the whole song, have my mom sing the whole song. And my mom was used to that. And when we went to Black Nova Studios to record the new music, my mom couldn't believe it because he would just say, "Okay, sing it like this." She'll sing 4 or 5 bars, and then the chorus or the bridge, whichever one you want to call it, he would put that in the proper place. He'd paste and do it, and we come home, and my mom go, "We not finished." I'm like, "Mom, we are." And then a week later, he'd come back, and my mom would be so mad because she wouldn't understand how the hell did he do that? And she'd be like, "Mom," I say, "Mom, that's technology.
Yeah.
It's
Mm,
so easy to record. We could do a song, Angela,
Sorry?
and we could do a song and never leave each other's house.
That's
mm,
true. Yeah,
You
that's
know?
what has happened just yet. I mean, just this year.
Yeah,
It's amazing. Look at
yeah,
this. Let me see here.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
Is that the master? I think that's the mix down,
yeah,
or is
this
that the
is
master's separate tracks?
it was like a master because then
Okay.
I used this one in a show. I took it to a television show and they play
Okay.
it for me so that I could sing
Okay.
along
Yeah.
or do some
Oh,
playback. But this
you,
was the previous CD, and then after CD, there was USB drive
Mm,
or
the,
memory
the
hmm.
dad.
USB. So I have
Yeah, I
a
went through the
couple
whole
of things
process, the
here to
2 inch
show
tape
you.
to ADATs to D88s to first generation of computers, which could only do so many tracks, and then now unlimited tracks and
Yeah.
remote. We used to have to strike the tape, go take a break, whoop, and you had to put this code on it so it could sync up.
That's
Wow.
Do you see what I'm holding right now here?
Yeah.
It's my very first book, notebook where I wrote my first songs. And here are my first guitar lessons.
Wow.
Anon was she already, I mean, she passed away this year. But she was like my
Rest in peace.
angel. I mean, yeah, yes, thank you. And she was like my angel. She taught me
Wow.
how to play the guitar, and then I started writing down my first songs. I studied at a Catholic school, so first things that we were writing, like for example, no, this is not a song that I wrote, but this is a song that I like. Let me show you one of the songs that I wrote. Oh, this one, for example. Ah, the title is Acompáñame a descubrir, which means come on and let's discover beautiful things like that, So it's like
Mm,
trying to get along in life and try to find wonderful things that life has for us. And it was one of my very first songs.
mm.
I loved
That's
was
it.
great. I'm
It
glad
was
that you
since
in
still
you're
had
on
that
that,
stuff.
1987.
Wow.
uh, since you're on that,
You're telling your age.
when you started,
That's okay.
singing and performing live, did you do cover songs or did you come straight out with original music?
It depends on what the purpose of the show is. Like, for example, the most recent show that I participated was all about Broadway musical songs. So I sang Think of Me from Phantom of the Opera, and I sang the Sound of Music theme song.
Wow.
So it
Okay.
depends. And the previous show was all about opera, and I sang a couple of arias as well.
Okay. So when you sung your first song that you had your hands in, how did the crowd react and how did you feel about it?
Okay, I need to rewind way back and find a place in the season of my life, of my journey, where that applies, because I started singing since I was a little kid at school. I was there was an audition from the nuns and they picked me, and then I started becoming part of the choir of the school. So after that, I started to participate into singing contest, representing my school. And that was the very first time that I had the opportunity to sing in front of other people, like people I've never been with. And I didn't feel like the audience was about to eat me, fortunately. My dad was a musician himself. He was not a professional musician, but he played the lute so wonderfully, and he got that, musical gene, and we inherit that. And he was keeping, he was all the time telling me that I had that star, and people would love whatever I do, even if I get something wrong. He told me, if you get something wrong, you just keep going and play along with it, smile, and do like this, like that, whatever. Do whatever. You're going to conquer people's heart with your personality. And I took his advice, and there has been really bad performance of myself where I actually got out of tune, way out of tune, not because I didn't have the ear, but because there was not the proper monitoring for the singer.
Mm,
And the auditorium was so huge that the music went one direction and came back the other direction, already changed the pitch.
mm, mm,
So when I watched the video, I was like, what?
mm-hmm. I
I'm
hate
singing
that.
like that? Oh my God, I wanted to die. But
Mm,
anyways, I overcome that. And my dad always kept pushing me in a positive way.
mm,
Okay, so we're going to jump a little back to what you can clearly remember. um, your hit single, "Say I'm Possible." Okay, I understood. That was your first uh English project.
Yes, officially,
What
yes.
what made you decide to do English?
Yeah, I like English songs a lot. And I found that there are so many Latin American people following and listening to English songs as well. So I said, okay, it doesn't matter where I was born. It matters where or how far I want my message to get through. And
mm,
that's how I decided that I could do English. Why not? I mean, if I can speak English, I know that I speak English with some accent. Martin Sutton, which is my producer and co-writer, he keeps telling me that I sound pretty much like Gloria Stefan.
mm,
And yeah, I mean, I love that. Shakira has sung in English. Why not? I wouldn't
mm.
I wouldn't do that. I mean, anybody can do that. And if I have the means and I can write in English, why not?
Right. And then when people sing, their accent disappears.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
Yeah, so um I watch a lot of movies, and it was this show called no, now it just flew out my head. But they had this uh black actor, and he played Snowfall. Snowfall is the
Mm,
series.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
John Singleton produced it, and it had this black actor. He was the leader, and I saw him on an interview, and I'm like, his accent is gone. He talked a strong English accent, and he said he flew to America and hung out with this gangster from LA, a gangster rapper called The Game. He said, man,
Uh-huh.
Mm.
around and I learned to talk the street language like him. And I was just dumbfounded. I'm
Mm.
like, you the gangster, you know. So,
Idris Elba too. He started in The Wire, same, and we didn't know he was not from America Hood,
yeah.
Yeah.
And Angela, you got a brand. Oh my God. Um, Ricardo and I were talking about sync licensing. I could see say I'm possible in playing in the gyms all over the world.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really see it, like I said before in the first one, I really felt, I got your song and I felt bad. I know you was up past way past your bedtime. You
No
didn't play.
worries.
And I say, you know what, Ricardo, we got to make it right because she sent a nice drop thanking us for playing the music, stayed up half the night, and it didn't play. So I was going to make it right.
Mm.
So I started watching you. And I think a couple of months after I'm listening to the songs and my mom fell in love with it.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait a minute, this meaning. I start listening to the words. I start watching your workout pose. I'm like, this is something. This is big. You know.
S-
Um,
Speaking of your songwriting, how do you approach it? Do you have the melodies and ideas first before you get the music, or the music you start playing chord progressions or whatever, and then it comes to you afterwards, or is it a combination?
Yeah, I think it's a combination, but most of the time, what I do is I follow Martin Sutton's 7 steps of songwriting because that really helps me a lot to eliminate the writer's block.
Mm.
In the past, it took me 3 months to get a song done, one single song done, because I was like blocked and I didn't know what to write about. I didn't know if the melody was good or bad or whatever. But once I learned that 7 step process, wow, that changed my whole life.
Mm.
And I learned that I could write a song in one day. Recently, I went to the American songwriting camp. Sorry for the repetition. They had this amazing songwriting camp named Between the Lines, and we had this task to write one song in one single day. In collaboration with other two artists. I mean, we were 3 people working on a song for a day, and it was amazing how a song can be composed and written in just 3 hours. That was the
Mm.
most wonderful experience that I had. And obviously we were doing different approaches. Like for example, in the first time, because we had only 3 hours, I was like trying to use the 7 step verbally with my co-writers because I didn't want them to be very tied to a process, sometimes when you don't know people, they might be, resisting to follow certain rules. So I was kind of like very flexible, and we ended up with a really nice song. And what I did was like trying to go with some chord progressions, and they started coming up with ideas of the lyrics and the theme, and then we had a wonderful song. On the others, and the second chance, there was a different group. I mean, we didn't work with the same people in the second day. So in the second group, uh the one that took like the leading role told us, let's speak about our lives. Let's take one whole hour talking about ourselves. That was so wonderful because we ended up with a really nice profound song from the deepest of our hearts. And the name of that song is Don't Kill the Roses. And we are
Mm.
crazy about recording that song. I really want to record that song with my co-writers. It's a beautiful song. You will see.
That reminds
So
me of
yeah.
I used to have an old poem that let's not let our love be a cut rose, because I was thinking like you want to show your love and you give a person this thing that's gonna die, So I always try to give planet flowers later on in life. But yeah, that reminds me that concept. So art is an open for interpretation when you're giving it out, and somebody might get one thing out of it and another person gets another thing. So just the title alone gave me something and brought me back. So I'm looking forward to hearing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So happy. Well,
Last
yeah.
time we were on and you said you were on your way to do opera. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I got to see this. When you posted it and you started singing, I ran to my mom. My mom, look. Uh, I was, I am, I am amazed at you, Angela.
Mm,
Your vocal range and your voice is so strong.
Thank
Like,
Are
you.
you formally trained?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm like, wow.
It was so challenging. The thing is that when I started the Ultimate Artist Release Program that I joined with the Songwriting Academy in UK, I realized that if I wanted to go back and sing, I needed to, get my voice trained again because there was like over than 10 years that I didn't sing in a very consistent way.
Structured. Mhm.
Exact, not structure, but in a consistent way, like every single day. Like in the past, when I was active, truly active with the band that I leaded, um, I was singing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday every single weekend. It was like every single week we had 3 shows in a row, and that kept me, my vocal cords trained. And I used to go swimming because back then people used to smoke in front of us. So
Mhm.
what I did was I needed to clean up my lungs. So every time I finished a show or the weekend, then next couple of days I used to go swimming to clean up my lungs. I was so grateful when they put the law that nobody
Mhm.
can smoke in closed environments. I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. I love those.
Unless you're in Vegas, you're gonna have to put that up out
Well, I
here.
mean, there are some places that
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
but
different,
it's so
but
good because your clothes don't smell like smoke and all of that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. My
uh,
father used to do the jam sessions, and you open the door going in, and the smoke would just, you know,
yeah,
uh,
it's really bad for the voice. And I really, well, there was some time that I was about to lose my voice. And my doctor told me that I should not speak, not even say like that for 1 month. So I couldn't sing for 1 whole month until I got my vocal recovered. And then couple of months later, they forbid people smoking in front of in closed environments. So I was grateful for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and cigarette and alcohol are the worst enemies of the vocal cords.
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
That
Now,
amazes me how some of the old ones they be drinking the hard liquor and smoking in the 60s and 70s. I don't know how they did it.
I
Yeah,
don't.
bulletproof.
Don't forget the heroin use.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of artists were on heroin back in the
Grace
day.
of God that they still alive. Yeah. Well, some of them that made it.
Some of them made it, and some of them also got drugs free. as
Yeah.
far as I've
Uh,
heard of
what
some
does
of them.
Yeah, they were the first people to get sober. They got sober before the regular public. You know, they were in sobriety before the rest of us knew about sobriety, you know.
Mhm.
remember Felipe Wynn died on stage?
What?
Mm.
Yeah, he was the head of the Spinners, and he was a heavy smoker, did everything,
Oh my
and
God.
he did a performance and passed out on stage and
Yeah, it's
died.
no joke.
Yeah, yeah. Angela, I wanted to ask you. You
Yes.
recently did have an account on Instagram where you share your experiences during the day. I met a couple of other people who recently started doing that.
Yeah.
What made you do that, and how is the response?
Well, sometimes I'd like to have like a group of people who are like my closer circle and the true followers. Um, and my purpose is to be able to share with them things that I will not probably share out to the rest of the world. Obviously, I need to take care because we never know that someone might be just sharing whatever I share in that
Hmm.
specific channel, but it's okay. Whatever I sharing there is is not something that I would hide. But
Right.
it's not my, like, for example, I want to show people that I can be out of makeup or not always properly dressed,
Mm.
and that I have a regular common life like anybody else. I know that I am not a rock star just yet, but the most important thing in that channel is to have feedback from my future uh productions. Right now, for example, I am editing my video for Say Impossible. I do the recordings on March 23, and I am still editing. It's a lot of work. I didn't know
Mm.
it was so time consuming, but I'm closer to finishing it. I hope that I can finish that in this month
We
because I
found
want
somebody slower than KE. That's the
to yeah, so things like that. And the response right now is very low, but because I have very few people in that group, and I am experimenting what is exactly that people would like to read or hear from me in that channel. One thing that I have realized is that most of my social media is about what I am doing recently on my musical career rather than providing people with something that will inspire them. I know, and people keep telling me that my workout reels, they do inspire them in a certain way,
Mm.
but probably they will not relate to my musical career. And but it's what I'm doing, I mean, I need to document whatever I'm doing so people know where I am and how good or bad I can sing.
Mm.
And but I want to provide more insightful content, and I'm trying that in the inner circle first to see the
Right.
response, and after that then I post something meaningful to the outer followers,
Uh,
which I
it was
recently
a
did.
question. It was a question you asked yesterday that I really fell in love with it, and I guess we took a poll. You had the poll, and shortly after the poll, you went on and talked about it. I think it was something about what I want and versus what I need,
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly. Balancing between doing what I want or doing what I need to do.
Yeah, I really like that.
I'm so happy about it. Because
What
yes,
you're doing is good is discovering what many artists is there's not much money in music for a lot of us anymore. So we have to become a total brand, and getting social media, building up your content. It's all about your content. And what better way and easier and authentic way to do that, to just really share your life. So you being vulnerable on camera and stuff, people can care about your songs, will understand where that song came from and who this person Angela Bendeck is. So that's wonderful.
yeah, yes, that thank you so much, Ricardo. Yes. At this point, so many people, so many times I have been asking myself, what's my purpose? What's my purpose as an artist? What's my purpose as a persona, as a human being? Um, and of course, what's my purpose as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, And everything falls into one huge answer. And it's to um, provide or to, I don't know how to say that in English, um, aportar. How do I say aportar? Oh my goodness, I don't know
To
sometimes.
create a legacy for your children, or
Yeah, but it's not about, I mean, legacy of my children is a little bit selfish, which I totally want to do that because I want to I want them to inherit my principles.
to contribute to humanity
To
in a
contribute,
positive
that's the
way.
word. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Contribute to someone else's life that they
Hmm.
can feel that my contribution, whatever I can do through my songs, through my presence, sharing some or exchanging some conversations, that
Hmm.
I could be a good advisor in the means that I can, because I have a gift. I have a gift that God has given me since I was a little girl, and it's that anybody, a stranger, a total stranger, come to me and start talking about their troubles.
Hmm.
Even if I was 10 years old, I used to have people coming to me and telling me their troubles. And I was like, what? Why am I? How am I going to help these people, this person? I am a 10-year-old girl. How am I
Hmm.
going to help that person? But I don't know. God gave me the right words at the right time. And just like is happening with my youngest son, Leonardo has that gift as well. And he suddenly comes up with things that we never thought he would speak about. And he is the one reading the Bible in this house.
Hmm.
He is the one doing morning prayers, and it's not that we don't pray, we pray together. When we go in the car, we have a prayer that we do together every single day in the morning when we take them to the school. But yeah, he is the one that has brought the relationship with God more in depth. I'm
And
so blessed.
what is your next single? And is it
Yes,
going to be bilingual or English or Spanish or what is that?
it's gonna be English, but you will be surprised
Oh,
because it's
Lord.
gonna have a piece of rap
I
doing.
knew she
What?
was gonna say that.
No, you don't. You don't rap too.
I
From
am trying to do that as well. You know what? I have a really fun very funny anecdote that to tell you. I was recording the rap part just 1 week ago, and because my producer, he told me, no, I mean, when he was talking to us about how he leaded another singer to sing rap, he said, you should go more street like, more trashy, more like, don't pronunciate the words so perfectly, and then I thought, okay, I need to listen to rappers and to see how can I do that, because I don't want him to tell me that I'm not doing it properly. Then when I started recording, it was so perfect, but not perfect for my song. It was perfect for a cover or for pitching a song, a rap song for another singer, not for me. Because I was just like impersonating someone rapping just like any rapper. Like, I don't know, like I was listening to this, I mean, I forget the names of those ladies that are famous rappers. Because
You,
I
MC
rap.
Angela,
But it was like
MC Angela B, MC Angela B.
Hey,
and I don't want to say anything right now because I want it to be a surprise, it's part of my next single.
Tina
But I
Marie, which is
tell
a
you,
famous R&B artist, she was from Portuguese, and
yeah,
she rapped in one of her songs, and she came out better than many of the female rappers of the time, and definitely today. So
see what
yeah,
I see what I mean?
you because
Yeah.
you understand, rhythm and timing and emphasis and all of the stuff that are essential to rap good.
Yes.
Mm.
And did you know who wrote the rap lyrics?
Your son.
son, you
Yes.
told him your son.
My son Leonardo, the 13-year-old son.
Uh,
Yeah, I
Oh
a
told
my!
you that
genius
in
and
the last
Hey, if
last
Mama make
interview.
it hit, you got another little rapper about to come up.
Oh yeah, he's a really good rapper. I mean, you give him a word and he's come up with so much, rhymes and stuff. And I don't know how he does that, but he's amazing. I'm
get it
so,
from his mama.
yeah,
Right.
there's an
Well,
inner rapper inside me.
so I noticed you've been traveling a lot, making live performances. You know, I since I known you, like you said, you do the inspiration videos for the workout and stuff, but your work and your grind in the music industry is an inspiration to me.
Oh,
Consistency
yes.
is the best thing. Now, people say, "Oh my God, Heston, you're online all the time. I see your face. You be talking, you be doing this." It's consistency. You either gonna like what I do or not.
That
And
is
the
true.
residuals, you might not see it here on the post, but people will go, "Well, what is she talking about?" And go to your YouTube page, go to your Spotify, go to your other streaming platforms and listen, because I come on and I see you all the time. And every time you start talking in Spanish, I go, "What?"
Yes.
I be teasing her. What did you say?
You know they got the A. Speaking of AI, they got the app that'll just translate what you did. So we might have to do that at least in the caption.
But
Oh,
you
what I
know,
do want is like a tool that can translate uh, automatically whenever I record a video in Spanish, to have not to do that, manually,
Yeah,
write
the
down the
captions is
translation.
one app that does it, but there's a couple more just coming out. It's pretty accurate. And if it makes a mistake, you just go back and it's real easy to edit it. So captions is one, but
Oh, I
some
see.
some more came out. They actually even translate you speak in English and it actually translates, I mean, in Spanish or vice versa. Like
Oh,
it'll take
that's
your
cool.
voice, so we kind of what we were talking about, which is scary, and then it's your tone, it's you've AI sampled your voice, and then it'll make it speak in Spanish or French or whatever you want. It's crazy. I mean, the
Wait.
advances to how fast they're doing it is scary. So then you got to worry about if they're going to make you say something else, you know. But they could
I
do that
know.
as soon as they get you on air. They got a sample of your voice anyway, so you might as well be the one that's putting out your own media in the other language. But you
Mm,
speak better English than Hess does, so it's okay.
Hey, you
my God.
wanna you wanna learn some street slang? Just hang out with me.
Oh my goodness.
But
Uh,
I learned that the best way to be is be yourself.
Mhm.
that's
You know, uh Ricardo and I, we're 1,000 miles away, and we come together to do the Indy Hookup, and we both know our part. I'll
yes.
go through the names, and Angela, I'll kill a name. Oh, Ricardo got it. He'll fix it. I just run with it. And that's the funny part of the show. We have people laughing, going back and forth. I talk, like they tease me. I talk kind of slow
Oh,
because
really? I like that.
I search for what I need to say on the fly. So those gaps give Ricardo enough time to come back and say something, you know, like I'm talking slow now because I'm searching, but that's my personality. You know, I'll get mad and I'll talk real fast.
Oh,
Uh, I had Ricardo laughing. I had gotten to an argument with a radio station, and I felt really disrespected. So we stopped using them. And I came on and did a show, and I said, Ricardo, I'm talking real fast today because I'm pissed off, so I can get the story out. But we're learning, and we're grateful to have you back on.
oh,
I know we're coming close to the time, so tell the people where they can find you and about your future product that we just kind of talked about. Let the listeners know.
yeah. Well, my next single will be about avoiding procrastination or learning how to start something. It's not like a lecturing song. It's actually more about how I got rid of it and how I was feeling at first and how I changed my life. The name of the next single is Okay Monday, because we always start a project on Monday, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Mm.
Okay, let's say that I'm going to start a new diet. I start on Monday. I'm going to start a new training process. I start on Monday. I'm going to start singing lessons on Monday. I'm going to start reading a book. I start on Monday.
Mm.
Everybody starts everything on Monday. So it's kind of like a really good day to start. So that's how we came up with the idea to call it Okay Monday. And I'm just so looking forward to have that single out already. And I'll be sharing if you guys join me in my private
I'm
behind the
there.
reels
I'm there
community.
already.
You are
Mm.
already, but people who is listening to this interview, I'm inviting everybody to join my community on Instagram, which is Behind the Reels broadcast channel, and I'll be sharing a couple of artworks for the next single so that you can vote and tell me which one is the one that you like the most, and then I'll decide which one to take, so I really like to have people's participation in my next couple of things that I'm going to do. There are two other more two more two other more, is that the right way to say that? Two more singles that are coming on the way, and we are just working on them as well. um so it's very exciting. I'm so
So
excited.
behind the reels is one place they can find you. Do you have angelabendeck.com
That's
or
Angela Bendeck. Yes, you need to go to Angela Bendeck, and once at my Instagram page, then on my bio you will find the button to go to my community. So yeah,
Oh,
everywhere in Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere it's at Angela Bendeck all together.
international superstar?
yep. Say I'm saying, and you know what? That ties together with Say I'm Possible because you're starting a project, you're halfway through, and then all of a sudden, say. I like that.
Oh,
You know, we're glad that you came back. Uh, like I said, we're learning. So um, the more we do, the better we'll get. And of course, when the rap comes out, we definitely gotta have that.
I would like to know your reviews about my rapping.
You know it.
I just did
No,
one on
you haven't
his
heard me
mother's single.
rapping just yet.
Yeah, I feel you on that because we was trying to get a rapper. We finally got in that room, but I needed to get something done. So I rapped the hook and part of
Mhm.
the pre-hook. So,
Uh,
and I changed my voice a little bit because I know how to do that, but I feel you get into the character and you become somebody else, or another part of your,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know.
But what they told me is that in rap, you need to be yourself, actually. So I was like totally out of what I was thinking it was a rapper interpretation, a rapping interpretation.
Persona. Yeah.
Persona, yes. Because
Hmm.
I need to keep being Angela Bendick. And if
Right.
I am rapping in a different way, which I am not, then it's gonna be awkward in the song.
Yeah.
It sounded really
Yeah.
awkward. But yeah, I'm practicing the new way, and I'm trying to find my own vibe on rapping, and it's kind of like a process. Yeah, I'll
Hmm.
be recording that again next week.
Well, let me
So,
tell you, don't send any early mixes to Hess because he'll put it on the air. I'm gonna let you know.
oh, well, we talk. Me and her talk. I don't do her like I do y'all. They
Oh,
tease me because I'm so stuck in promotions that I can't hold water. You send me a snippet, it's online. You know, I'm ready to go. I get up ready to go. So um, that's just how it is. Of course, you watch. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to come online and talk about the interview.
of course.
So, so
Oh,
it's always an honor and a pleasure to have you, to talk to you. I
oh,
can really say that we are friends now. My mom adores you.
oh.
She's still trying to figure out what can she send you. You
Oh, she's
started
so
something,
sweet.
you know. This is what we're all about behind the scenes, talking about people, independent artists, situations, telling their story. We look forward to having you back on, and thank you.
No, thank you,
Sure.
Houston and Ricardo,
Or,
for
or
this
I have
lovely
to say,
interview.
viewers, until the next time.
Until the next time.
Ricardo, tell the man to tell him who we are. And we out.
The Indy Hookup. I'll put that tag right there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angela. Really appreciate you taking the time for us. And you're an
Sure.
inspiration, to Hess's mother was for me at first, because I got frustrated. I'm getting up there. I'm like, man, ain't nothing. I won all these music awards in LA, but I didn't get where I want to be, what I could, but now I'm re-inspired to come out with new artists, new music, and even reintroduce the old. So when I see people above 20 still doing it, I know, that we're supposed to do this. Like in country music and rock, dude, they respect the older people, but in some pop and R&B, they want to cut you off and say, "Oh, that's for the young people." No, we got to keep on doing it till we die. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you. But luckily, you still look young and beautiful. So,
Oh,
you got
thank
a little advantage
Hey,
over me in
her
let,
husband over there. You better watch out for her husband over there.
let me tell you something. There is a book that changed my life, and it's the name of the book is The Upper no no The Big Leap. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. That book actually talks about the one thing that we feel as a grown people. It's an upper limit problem. And I spoke about that in one of my reels, but that thing is real. I mean,
Mm,
when you think that it's all done, that's an upper
mm,
limit that you're having.
mm,
And I was thinking the same thing. There are already so many songs in the world. How am I going to contribute with a new song? Everything is like everything is there, but the combination of notes and words are so immense. I mean, there's hundreds of possibilities, infinite
mm,
possibilities of
mm,
a new song. So we
mm,
should
Mhm.
not fall into our minds game to tell us or to trick us into thinking that we are not capable of doing something new. And
mm.
that's what I learned in this recent year after I read that book.
And God's using you as a vessel to give the world something that He could only bring through you. That's the uniqueness. And so,
Yeah,
no matter how many other people, nobody can do it like Angela Bendeck can do it. And what God's given you to give to the world. So we thank you for your contribution in that manner too. Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
true
And then
because
uh in my mom's journey, a lot of people have just reached out to me and gave me suggestions. Here, try this. I suggest you do this. I want to be a part. It's not going to cost you anything. Can I do this? So that's what got us started. We're building a community.